Can you smell what the block is cooking? Yo, what's up YouTube world? I animate them, I review them. Yo, what's up YouTube world? I animate them, I review them, Tron here, and this review today we are going to be reviewing the G.I. Joe Roadblock. Not to be confused with the Decepticon Roadblock, but this is Roadblock Enlisted E4 from the G.I. Joe team. Now I'm not going to be giving the whole history on G.I. Joe, but what I can say is that it is a toy line that started out in 1964 as Hasbro's Barbies for Boys line, which is supposed to be 12 inches tall. If you want to see another full history on G.I. Joe, watch their documentary on the toys that made us on Netflix, which is $7 a month. Oh yeah, there is no promotion for this video. There is no sponsor, I'm just advertising it just because. And for those of you that don't even know what a G.I. Joe is, here is a brief little narration of what G.I. Joe is.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose? To defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Alright, now that you know what a G.I. Joe actually is, let's move on to Roadblock himself. So, his real name is Marvin F. Hinton, occupation, Sergeant First Class Army, legal status, citizen of the United States, birthplace, Biloxi, Mississippi, martial status, single, and his cousin is heavy duty, and he is also enlisted 4. Growing up in Biloxi, Mississippi, Marvin F. Hinton, the man who will become Roadblock, dreamed of growing up to be not a member of an elite fighting force, but a gourmet chef. Following an all-American upbringing including membership in both the Boy Scouts and his local church choir, Hinton began working as a bouncer with the goal of attending a fresh culinary institute. As a member of the United States Army with a primary MOS of infantry heavy weapons, Roadblock is proficient in all standard military-grade hardware. Additionally, he displays a particular fondness for the M2 Browning 50 cal heavy machine gun, and is an expert in all other heavy machine guns, the M16 and the M1911A1 auto pistol. Now that you know about Roadblock, let's get on with the review.
Now I know!
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Alright, so here's Roadblock, and a little something about this figure. This Roadblock is actually from the show G.I. Joe Renegades, which was featured on the Hub, and it came out around the same time Transformers Prime came out. I remember when I first watched it, it was in like November, and like me and my mom was sitting down. My mom was probably like folding clothes, and then I was sitting there watching Transformers Prime, and then G.I. Joe Renegades came on. Didn't watch the show all that much, but I actually thought it was a really good G.I. Joe cartoon, and Roadblock was one of the G.I. Joes that were in it. Now, for the G.I. Joe Renegades line, they only released like a few Renegades G.I. Joe figures. Like, we had a Cobra Commander, we had a Cobra Trooper, or Storm Shadow, a Firefly, and then we had only 4 of the Joes, and Airtight. And Roadblock was the one that they didn't release. So here we are, we finally have a Roadblock from G.I. Joe Renegades, and this is what we actually needed. I'm actually very, very glad that Hasbro went and put in a G.I. Joe Renegades Roadblock in the Revolution box set. They could have made it comic book accurate to the IDW comics, but they decided to give us a G.I. Joe Renegade Roadblock, and kudos to them. I am really glad that they actually threw this guy in. So yeah. And you might notice, out of all the other figures that come with these display stands, Roadblock is the only one that has the appropriate stand. Yay! He has the right stand. Yeah, but here's Roadblock. Very cool, very nicely detailed. This is very, very close to the cartoon, although I kind of wish that he was a bit like bigger, like not fatter, but probably like thicker a little bit, or a little bit fatter, because he did seem a whole lot bigger in the cartoon. But he does look really, really cool. He has this big backpack, pegs in there, you know how these work. And the straps right here, apparently, I actually found this out like at least like a week after I took them out of the packaging on Christmas. The straps are they're made out of this kind of like this stretchy string. So that's pretty cool. Can, I guess, carry it around like so, like an actual handbag or like an actual bag or something, when it's not by the handle or something. Yeah. And then back here in his backpack, you can see he also has a little flashlight in there hidden, so he can actually like use a flashlight when he's out in the dark looking for something. He does come with this big rifle right here, this big machine gun. This also came with the G.I. Joe Retaliation Roadblock that came in a 3-pack. Don't know what this gun is called. If you know what it is, put in the comments below, because I only know very little about guns. I know some stuff, but not all that much. It's a very nice little gun. See, it also has a little magazine sticking out here, which is also removable. You can put it back in there, but be careful, because these accessories, they do get lost easily, especially this magazine and a knife and a gun that came with him. He came with a pistol that would go in his holster, and he also came with a second knife, one that would be packaged and he could hold, and you got one that's in his sheath right there. But I lost the other knife, and I think I still have the gun. It's in a whole bag of other G.I. Joe weapons, and I don't know the exact gun that actually came with them. So yeah, I'm pretty screwed on that. But that's enough of the accessories. Here's Roadblock. See, he has a very nice face sculpt. He has the beard from G.I. Joe Renegades. I actually like to think of Roadblock as kind of like the Mr. T of the G.I. Joe Renegades team. Pretty cool. He's got a bald head. As always, Roadblock isn't Roadblock if he ain't bald-headed. He's got a nice vest, bulletproof vest. See, he's got the straps on his thighs, straps to the little pockets. The vest is removable, but I'm not even gonna bother removing it, because, you know, I mean, with these figures, it'll take like 6 years to try to get these things back on. But yeah, pretty nice figure. Very nice Roadblock. I think I'd put him probably like third, right after Rom the Space Knight. Alright, so now I guess we can go on to the size comparisons. Also, I would like to say real quick, be careful, because his arms are very stiff on these hinges, very stiff, that he's kind of, his elbow here is kind of ripping, so like you're kind of like self-destroying, like the toy's kind of self-destructing when you're kind of messing around with them. So I just a little reminder, just be careful when messing with him, because these joints on his arms mainly are tight. Alright, so here we have him next to Legends Class Wingspan, Power of the Prime Snarl, Voyager Starscream, Dylan the Villain, and his pal Tunnel Rat, and these two look good together. I really wish I had the whole set of G.I. Joe Renegades. I do have a Scarlet, but his legs, her legs were bitten off by my cousin's dog, Harley, that's his name. Yeah, he bit her legs off, unfortunately. I do have Ripcord, but I do not have a Duke, unfortunately. Never had one. So, yeah, now it's time for our final thoughts and conclusions. Overall, Roadblock is a really amazing figure. Love him as both a character, and I love him as both the action figure. If you have all the other 4 characters in G.I. Joe Renegades, I really highly recommend getting this guy now. He is the 5th, this is the only way you'll be getting the 5th Joe in your G.I. Joe Renegades group. So the only way to do that is to get this through the SDCC Comic-Con set, the Revolution box set, or you can just go through eBay and search for him. I think he goes for like $40 on eBay or something. But still, not that bad of a price. At least he's not fetching 100 like that Cobra Commander from San Diego Comic-Con. But yeah, that's Roadblock. He's a really cool figure. Love the detailing. And yeah, he's pretty cool. Alright, that's it. So, like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends. Check out Iron Kai's channel. Also, check out the Dylan the Villain stop motion film and other stop motions like War on Earth, and also the Tron saga. And peace. We are out of here.